Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to get into something, something that maybe you haven't, really thought about before.
Huh.
First aid in the workplace.
Right.
We've got a ton of research here, and I got to say, I was pretty surprised by just how much first aid can impact, like our well-being at work,
Right.
beyond just dealing with emergencies.
Absolutely.
It's more than just bandages and CPR.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting. I think, a lot of people think about first aid as being kind of this, specialized thing. Like,
Oh, okay.
you've got to be a doctor or nurse or EMT.
All right, exactly.
But really it's a basic civic skill
It really is.
that everyone should have at least some knowledge of. Like, knowing CPR or how to stop bleeding. You never know when you might need to use it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
One of the things that really jumped out for the research was this idea of, those crucial first few minutes
Right.
before professional help arrives. Imagine like someone collapses in the office.
Oh, yeah.
Having someone there who's trained in first aid
Absolutely.
could literally be the difference between life and death.
Absolutely. It can make all the difference. And, it doesn't even have to be like a dramatic scenario like that. I remember one time at a previous job,
Yeah.
I saw a colleague spill boiling water on their hand in the break room.
Oh my gosh.
Thankfully, someone there knew how to treat a burn properly.
Wow.
And it really minimized the severity of the injury. I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
That's a perfect example of how even, seemingly small actions
Yeah.
can make a huge difference, not just in recovery time, but also with avoiding complications.
Absolutely.
Like the research even mentioned that that immediate proper care can drastically reduce, the severity of a burn scar,
For sure.
which
Yeah.
which I just found fascinating.
Definitely, definitely. And, thinking about this whole thing from like the legal side, a lot of workplaces do require a certain level of first aid training these days.
Right.
But I think, it's less about like ticking boxes for compliance.
Yeah.
And it's more about, really fostering a culture of safety and well-being.
Absolutely. Speaking of culture, I thought it was really interesting how the research highlighted that first aid training can actually boost employee morale.
Totally.
It kind of sends that message that the company actually cares about its people
Right, exactly.
and their well-being.
Yeah.
And I think that leads to higher trust and just, a better feeling overall.
Yeah, it creates that sense of security and support,
Yeah.
knowing that your colleagues are equipped to handle emergencies. I think that can really reduce stress for everyone
Definitely.
and build a stronger sense of teamwork.
Yeah. It's almost like that feeling of empowerment,
Yeah.
like knowing that you can actually step up and help
Right.
instead of feeling helpless or
Absolutely.
frozen with fear. Which brings us to another interesting point from the research.
Okay.
Psychological first aid.
Yeah, this is something that, that I think often gets overlooked,
Right.
but it's so important to be able to support a colleague,
Yes.
who's maybe experiencing a panic attack
Right.
or struggling emotionally in some way.
Yeah.
And one of the simple but powerful techniques that the research highlighted was active listening.
Oh, yeah.
Just, giving your full attention,
Right.
acknowledging their feelings, and just being present,
I love that.
without judgment.
Yeah. And it all ties back to that sense of teamwork and shared responsibility.
Absolutely.
It's like when you practice first aid scenarios together,
Yeah,
not only are you building skills, but you're also strengthening those bonds and that communication within the team.
totally. It creates like a ripple effect throughout the whole workplace,
Yeah.
It helps to foster a more supportive and collaborative environment.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean for you, listening in?
Yeah.
I think the takeaway here is that first aid is so much more than just bandages and CPR.
For sure.
It really is an investment in a healthier, happier,
Right.
and more resilient workplace.
Yeah.
And with so many resources available these days,
Oh, yeah.
like so many accessible and cost-effective online resources,
Definitely.
it's easier than ever, for both individuals and
Yeah.
companies to prioritize this vital skill.
Yeah, definitely. Imagine being that person who can confidently step up when it matters most. That
Yeah.
feeling of knowing that you made a difference,
Right.
that you potentially, helped save a life
Yeah.
or minimize suffering.
Wow.
I mean, that's powerful.
That's such a powerful thought. And it makes you think about, what kind of workplace do you want to be a part of?
Absolutely.
You know, one where everyone feels supported and empowered to care for each other. I
Exactly.
think that's a beautiful thing, and I think it's something that we should all strive for.
I agree.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for
All
today.
right.
But I hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought
Me too.
and maybe even inspired you to learn more about first aid. Until next time,
See ya.
bye.